What is up, ladies and gentlemen? How we doing tonight? What do you guys think about Monday Night Raw tonight? Thought it was a pretty good show. Rachel, how we doing? All right. What do you think about Raw? Outside of the fact that CM Punk won in the main event, how'd you like Raw overall? Thought we got a pretty good show. I'm liking this Jay Gunther thing, man. I think it's gonna be better. Yeah, it was kind of expected with Roman, though. You know, he's not going to be in the Chamber match. Figured they'd write him off. And look, I don't know. It's looking. I feel like Punk's not going to win the Chamber either. And that rumor that circulated the last day or two about CM Punk versus Roman versus Seth in a triple threat, I think that's very likely at Mania, whether we like it or not. So I'm kind of here for it. No title implications for either of the three. Feels kind of weird, but I think that's where we're headed. I think the main question is who comes out of the men's, and I feel like it is Cena. I actually was rooting for Punk. Oh, okay. All right. What's going on, guys? If you're here, this is the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you for tuning in with me here today. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button once you make your way in. We're going to start in about 10 minutes, but we could discuss in the meantime in the chat. Jey Uso opening up the show with a very emotional promo. The crowd didn't make it any easier for him, but I loved everything about that, so I loved what we got there. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you for tuning in with me tonight. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel at Turnbuckle Topics. I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, X, and Facebook. You could also get me there as well. Say what's up in the chat. Don't be afraid. What was your favorite part of Monday Night Raw? Please share it. Again, hit that thumbs up, guys. Everything helps out the channel. We're going to discuss Monday Night Raw, all right? What a very good opening, rather, with Jey Uso, right? Very emotional. Now, whether you wanted this guy to win or not, I mean, you got to admit, you got to cheer for the underdog once in a while. And I like Jey Uso, and maybe, I mean, just a few weeks ago, I was telling people on a recent live, I didn't think I'd ever see Jey Uso win a world title. I don't know. Very well could happen at Mania, him versus Gunther, so we'll see. Miss J, Miss J, something tells me that you never liked Punk at any point in time. I was talking to Rachel about that main event, but fear not. I highly doubt Punk wins that Chamber. I think that's Cena's to win, so we'll see. I think we do get Cena. Cody, yeet, what's up? Okay, Nap. Guys, be sure to subscribe, all right? Subscribe to the channel. Almost at 700 subs. Hit the thumbs up when you make your way in here, and we're going to do a full review in just a couple of minutes, so get everybody acquainted. Get your last-minute food and beverages in if you need to. In the meantime, we're going to go through this whole show in a relatively quick fashion, a 2.5-hour show. 2014, we had Daniel Bryan. 2019, we had Kofi Kingston. And now it looks like, whether you guys like it or not, 2025 could be the year of Jey Uso winning a world title at Mania, likely against Gunther. You got to like that, though, right, Miss J? I know you're not a Gunther fan, and I don't know how much you like Jey Uso, but you got to like Jey Uso, I'm assuming, more than Gunther, right? So, hey, Gunther losing at back-to-back Mania is very likely, and we'll see what happens. So, Calvin, I don't know what happened this past Friday, but it just kicked me off. Oh, sorry about that, Calvin. Something needs to be done about Kevin Owens. Yeah, KO with a package pile driver to his buddy old pal Sami Zayn. Well, there's your first official scheduled WrestleMania match. Yeah, I think there's validity to what we've heard over the last couple of days since the Rumble. I think we do get that triple threat, like it or not, Roman, Punk, Seth at Mania, and I'm here for it. That is obviously a match that does not need a title. I mean, we even discussed over the last year that even if we got Seth and Punk at this Mania, main event or not, title or not, it's still going to be a good one. And then you want to add Roman to the mix. Hey, I'm here for it. That could be a very interesting caveat when you enter Paul Heyman. What's that favor? I don't know. Maybe the favor is him getting Punk that match at Mania against Roman, and then Seth's involved. We'll see. Poor Charlotte. Yeah, Miss J. Seems like Charlotte's been going through quite a lot these days. But the good thing is for her, She won the Rumble, only two-time Rumble winner for the women, and she'll go on and face Tiffany Stratton. Though I do like the thought of her and Rhea Part 3 split at one apiece, WrestleMania 36, WrestleMania 39. I like the fact she's going to NXT tomorrow night. Her and Julia would definitely be a fun match that I don't think we're going to necessarily get in 2025, but I feel like we get Charlotte and Julia in 2026 for sure. And then third time's a charm. She'll go to SmackDown and likely, name Tiffany Stratton as her opponent. Even though next Monday she said she'll be back with Rhea on Raw to find out what's going on there, but I'm very curious. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited though. Rachel says Roman will destroy Punk and Seth. I bet you can't wait to see Roman get his hands on both of them, right? Rachel Reigns, as we call her over on TikTok. But Miss J's got to be pulling for her guy Seth, I would assume, in that match. And without further ado, guys, let's get down to business. So, appreciate you being here. Doing good, Calvin. How are you? Jey Uso needs to get injured so he can cycle on. Wow, that's a pretty harsh comment there. Okay, man. Guess you weren't one of the guys jumping for joy when Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble the other night, huh? How about that? All right, guys. So let's get down to this review right here. Yeah, I felt bad for Io too. We'll see what happens. I was really hoping for Io and Rhea at Mania, but either way, I'm curious what's going to happen. I don't know if I could explain Seth's attire. Yeah, Seth definitely had some wild West. I don't know if you necessarily call it a cowboy look tonight with the hat, but it's really hard to explain his fashion regardless, right? So let's get down to this open of the Monday Night Raw in Cleveland. Visibly emotional Jey Uso, right? Huge crowd support. We got Yeet chants left and right as always. He says, I came in the game almost 15 years ago, did the whole tag team thing with my brother Jimmy, the bloodline around, did that whole thing around starting with COVID. That's when he became the right-hand man when Jimmy was out for Roman. That's when things really started to help get him on some kind of a singles run. Those couple of matches against Roman before joining the bloodline, right? Wasn't confident as a singles competitor, but he says, coming out here tonight, I got it now. He got a lot of you deserve it chance for winning, obviously, the Royal Rumble on Saturday night. And says he's worked really hard to get to this position. And he says, because of you guys, I'm the 2025 Royal Rumble winner. And I'll be going to the main event of WrestleMania, likely against Gunther, which we saw teased tonight as well. The Med, Orton did the same thing. So did AJ. They're great right now. I hear you. Yeah, I'm looking forward, as you guys mentioned in the chat. I can't wait till Randy Orton's back. I'm very curious when he'll be back. Hopefully on the road to WrestleMania. I'd love to see him in a match at Mania. So we'll see what happens. Leah, what's going on? How you doing? Thinking Roman is going to win the Chamber and Punk is going to take his place. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm thinking. I think John Cena wins the Chamber match, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think we get Punk, Roman, Seth, regardless in a triple threat capacity. I think there might be validity to that, and so. But we'll see. OTC, yeah, Cal. Appreciate you guys hitting the thumbs up button. New subscribers, thank you. Again, I'm also on TikTok, Facebook, X, and Instagram as well at Turnbuckle Topics. So Jey Uso then moves on. He's about to move on. Gunther's music hits, says he's come to offer his congratulations to Jey Uso, but he's disappointed. He says, this matchup does not appeal to me, Jey. You can't even lace my boots. You knew the ring general was going to say something along these lines. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. Shout out. Go against Cody because I'm reading Miss J's comment because Mr. Overrated has to. Hearing Roman won't be at Chamber. Yeah, I could see Roman not being at Chamber, Rachel. Even though that's a month away, I could see that being the case. Mainly due to the fact that, what they mentioned tonight. And if he's not going to be in the Chamber match, what would he be really doing there to solidify a Mania spot? So seems like they're cooking something up for Punk and Punk Rollins Reigns. Yeah, absolutely. Aaliyah, I agree. I agree completely on that one. So moving on with Gunther still. He says, beating Jey at Mania doesn't add anything to his legacy. Whereas if he went on to go up against John Cena, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, that would do something. That would do something. He says Jey has everything to gain, and while he has everything to lose, which I get where he's coming from. Doesn't mean I necessarily agree with him, but I get it. And if you choose me, Jey, your life is going to be a living hell. Says he'll put him down like a diseased dog. Then says Jey needs to consider his options. Jay says to Gunther, whoever he chooses at Mania, he's walking out of Mania as main event Jey Uso and as the champion. So whether it's him, whether it's Cody, whoever, we know it's probably going to be Gunther. Regardless if Cody goes against John Cena or whatnot, or whoever Cody's opponent is, doubt it will be Jey Uso, though that would probably be fun. So that was pretty much that segment. I liked it. Again, that's the likely scenario, whereas Charlotte Rhea, which we'll get to. Unfortunately, if you want to see that match, I don't think we're going to get a part 3, at least this year. I think we're going to get Charlotte Tiffany. I like the flirting of the idea of Charlotte Julia on NXT tomorrow night. Again, I don't think we get that either way. Let's see here. I missed the memo. What happened to Roman? Yeah, they mentioned, as I'll go over in the review, that Roman, later in the show, they mentioned that Roman's going to be out for a while due to all the stuff that Seth incurred on him at the Rumble. So I guess for the time being, yeah, the New Day's theme, I like the fact the New Day have a new theme song. I can't say I'm crazy about it, though. I wish it was almost like, it's still like kind of fun. You know, it's not like how it used to be, but I wish it was like more of a darker tone. I wonder who Jay's going to pick. If Jay picks Cody, who do you think will go after Gunther? Yeah, I think, Aaliyah, I think 1,000% Jay picks Gunther. So I'm not even going to venture to guess who Gunther would go against. I think Jay goes Gunther. I think Cody gets John Cena winning the Chamber. That's my early estimation. Who cares if Pepsi Phil won or lost? He's going to AJ tonight. That's winning in my book. Same goes to your buddy Ludwig with Tiffy Time. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess if we're talking real life, brother, if we're not talking kayfabe, you're right. Cheers to you. Austin, so is Alexa Bliss coming back, or was that just for the Rumble? Yeah, Alexa Bliss signed a new 5-year deal, Austin, so she'll be back. I'm assuming maybe as early as next week, even though I don't think they promoted her. Hopefully sometime in the month of February, I would assume. Jimmy was happy that Jay won the Royal Rumble. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that's the case, Calvin. I mean, I love that backstage footage we got on his Instagram with Jacob Fatu, even congratulating Jay in his pink Yeet shirt, by the way. Jacob seems like an awesome person. Yeah, so let's go on here. We got the first matchup of the night. Penta versus Ludwig Kaiser. We got, as they said on commentary, the Royal Rumble Iron Man in Penta, who was in the match for 44 plus minutes, versus Ludwig Kaiser, who was in there not even up on the apron, right? What was it, 6 seconds tops, maybe less than that? This was a great match. Penta goes up 3-0 on Raw with another victory here. That's Chad Gable, Pete Dunne, Ludwig Kaiser. Again, 44 minutes the other night in the Rumble. He was the number 2 person to come out after Rey Mysterio came out at 1. They had a great opening bit. Obviously, it was going viral that night that, Penta should have been out early. Both of his feet seemingly touched the outside, which why they didn't do a replay on that whole sequence. So either way, Penta's doing his thing, and that's all good. Post-match, Dunn's music hits. He comes down the aisleway. Ludwig Kaiser, though, attacks him from the back, and then Pete Dunne ended up really doing nothing because, well, Kaiser did the dirty work for him. So guessing that they're going to continue something with Penta, with Ludwig, with Kaiser. Who knows? I mean, Braun Breaker, I'm trying to think what's going to go on with him with the Intercontinental Championship going forward. I'll get to that later in the review. He addressed Pierce tonight like, okay, that's great. AJ Styles is on Raw, but what's going to happen for me going forward? And I don't know, with all these guys kind of fighting in the mid-card to some point, I wouldn't be surprised if, I would more so probably love to see Braun Breaker in a singles match at Mania, especially it being him. I don't know. A lot of the times the mid-card titles get thrown into these like 5, 6, 7-man matches, whether it's ladder match or whatever, at Mania and big events like that. Maybe they're going to conjure up something like that to get a lot of these guys on the show up against Breaker. So we'll see for the IC title. Looking in the chat now. Let's see. I'm intrigued on who Cody is out to. Yeah, I think we get Cody Cena. We'll see. Kept saying he knows he can defeat him. Yep. She's my favorite diva. Let's see. Nikki Bella back in WWE. Yeah, so that's one I'm not sure. I know Alexa Bliss seems to be back on more of a full-time type of deal. Nikki Bella, I don't know what her schedule is going to be looking like. Good match. Penta is such a pleasure to watch. I agree. Love Ludwig is in great shape. Takes a beating. Walks out for all of 6 seconds. Makes 50 grand. Catering goes home to Tiffy. Yeah, absolutely. That's what you call an easy day of work, A-Dub. Do you think they may insert Dunn into the mix with Penta? I think so. Aaliyah. Braun Breaker versus AJ Styles. I'm also here if they're going to outright do that for Mania. I'm totally on board with that. Steve, what's up, my friend? You better cut that out. You're gonna make me blush, brother. How we doing tonight? Hey guys, by the way, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button, all right? Hit the like button. I appreciate each and every one of you here, whether it's 5, 15, 25 of you, whatever. I'm making my way over from TikTok. I'm usually live on TikTok, so we're just going to have to grow the live audience week after week on Mondays and Friday nights after Raw and SmackDown. So it's all good. We got a small crew. A lot of you guys I'm familiar with, and for those newcomers, welcome. But again, hit that thumbs up button. Most importantly, subscribe, all right? Subscribe to the channel. And again, I'm on TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram as well. Same handle, same profile logo. I'm easy to find, so you can get me over there. All right, so we're going to move on now to the next bit here where we have a backstage segment with the Judgment Day and Finn Balor returning after 2 weeks. Obviously, we saw him in the Rumble, which I was a little surprised about. There's a couple people that showed up in the Rumble that I didn't think we were going to see. Finn Balor, AJ Styles, returning Braun Strowman after Jacob Fatu took him out about a week and a half ago. Very surprised. But either or, we got Balor back. Says Dom stole his tag title rematch last week and his partner now injured. We all remember that nasty spot JD McDonough received last week onto the commentary table. None of us know how he even got up after that and then even continued in a match. JD McDonough. Now, Liv was talking about having an elimination qualifier match later in the night. And Dom also working on getting Liv and Raquel a tag team title opportunity. And Finn says, that's all well and good, but you're doing everything for Liv and the ladies, but how about me? And Liv says, wait, Dom got you an Elimination Chamber qualifying match in the coming weeks against Seth Rollins, which we would find out that would be his opponent. And Dom goes, yeah, because we're family. You know, we all know there's a lot of cracks in the seams with Judgment Day, so everything is good, quote unquote, on a week-to-week basis. We all know they're inevitably going to fall apart after they continue to lose in singles, in tag, in, you know, I'm sure Seth is going to beat Finn Balor whenever they have that match. So we'll see. But that was fun. Now, this next segment, we would then see the Queen, Charlotte Flair, make her way to Monday Night Raw for the first time. And, well, it's got to be a couple years, right, since she's been out. So we'll see what happens there. What's up, Cal? Yeah, I plan on being on this Friday. I know I wasn't on last Friday for the SmackDown review. I was only on for the Royal Rumble review after. But, yeah, I'll be on this Friday after SmackDown. So you can look out for me there as well. So next up, the Queen, Charlotte. She comes out, says the last year has sucked. In a lot of ways, it broke her mentally and physically. Now, the news came out, I believe, earlier today about her and Andrade, which was a surprise to most of us. They were very hush-hush about it. They're divorced now. Apparently, Charlotte filed for divorce last June. The paperwork seemingly went through this past October. And, you know, Charlotte's injury, she went out December 2023, right? That's the ACL, I believe, is about like an 8-9 month thing. So a lot of us thought we could see Charlotte in a quick recovery back at SummerSlam. A lot of us, I remember going on the TikTok lives with a lot of you guys over the summer. We were talking about, you know, we're talking about Roman returning and what if Charlotte Flair could return or maybe early fall. And so I feel like she was readily available, at least by October. But obviously that's when the divorce was going through. She had all kinds of personal matters. And so she kind of, you know, in a similar sense, career-wise, she was on a Cody Rhodes trajectory, right? When Cody Rhodes was healing from the pectoral surgery, we all thought we might see Cody, you know, last year at some point in time. Early on, I believe it was, right? I'm sorry, 2 years ago, rather. Two years ago, sorry. Cody 2 years ago, because last year he was back already. But when he was recovering from that pectoral surgery, then they were giving him those vignettes and videos. And then when Cody was actually outright announced for the Rumble and then won the Rumble that very first year, it was a very similar way how they portrayed Charlotte Flair as well. The couple weeks of videos and vignettes, and she goes on to come back in a major way and win the Rumble. So either way, like Charlotte or not, she got it done. Wasn't my pick. I personally would have loved Io, but you'd be ignorant to remiss the fact, you know, to be remiss about a Charlotte or a Bianca. I assumed in my heart that one of them were going to become a two-time Royal Rumble winner. I would have slightly preferred Bianca more, but hey, you know, Charlotte comes back, and that's just how it goes. So that said, I could easily see her becoming a 15-time champ at Mania, probably against Stephanie Stratton. Again, I would love Rhea and her going up for a third time at Mania. This would be the rubber match to see who's going to get the 2-1 advantage. I love the fact of her, Julia, going to NXT this week. Her and Julia having a match at Mania. Wouldn't be the first time she challenged for the NXT title and won WrestleMania 36 against Rhea Ripley during COVID. And so we'll see. But this segment, let's get back to that. She was getting heavy boos throughout this. She was trying to remain babyface as possible. And she says, look, whether I'm getting wooed or booed, I am still the greatest superstar in the history of this industry. Some would beg to differ. Some may agree. Either or. Shortly thereafter, she was interrupted by Rhea Ripley. Charlotte mouthed to her, "Hello, old friend." I thought that was fun. But Rhea was all business. I gotta say, Rhea was all business. Have a great night, Aaliyah. Thank you for stopping in. Nas, what's up, my friend? So, as far as this went, mommy came out. She got a lot of chants. A lot of mommy chants broke out. Said she respects Charlotte. Rhea says, please pick me, Charlotte, because last time I beat you. Charlotte says, well, the first time, WrestleMania 36, I beat you for that NXT championship. Rhea then goes on to say, I was just a kid. Charlotte says, I've got nothing but time, as far as who I'm going to pick as my opponent. She says, I'm visiting NXT tomorrow to visit Julia, the NXT champion. Friday, I'm going to visit Friday Night SmackDown and see Tiffany Stratton, the WWE Women's Champion over there. And Charlotte says, you're still just a kid. And I'll see you next week. She wants to go to NXT. She wants to go to SmackDown and see who inspires her. I believe that was the word she used. She wants to see who's an inspiration, who makes her want to have this WrestleMania match for a title. So I get it. I definitely get it. She's seen Rhea twice in a winning effort and a losing effort. And it is intriguing. Julia on NXT, which I know is not going to happen this time around. Again, we probably get a good Charlotte-Julia match in 2026, title or not. And Tiffany Stratton, the most likely of scenarios, right? So I believe Tiffany Stratton went on record a while ago to even say that Charlotte Flair was one of the reasons she was even inspired to get into wrestling years ago. So that was pretty much how that went. Rhea says, please pick me so I can beat the respect into you, because you clearly don't respect me by calling me a kid and all that stuff. So let's see here. Being given a bunch of the championships don't make you the greatest of all time. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Are you going to be on here Friday? Cal, I will be on here Friday. I'll be on here immediately following Smack. Sorry, I was losing connection here. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. So next up, we are going to talk about Sammy approaching Jey Uso backstage. We might have thought they were going to have an issue because of the fact that, I believe Jey eliminated Sammy, right? At the Royal Rumble. Ends up being a warm embrace. Sammy wishes Jey the best. All was forgiving, seemingly, at least for the time being. Karrion Kross then approaches Sammy backstage, trying to get into his head. Sammy wanted nothing to do with it. Basically said, cut it out or we're going to have problems. I like Karrion Kross. Can't really get too into it right now. He wasn't even in the Royal Rumble to me. So as much as Karrion Kross might be trying to talk a whole lot of smack to Sammy about his position in the company, kayfabe or not, Karrion Kross needs to worry about his own self because things ain't looking too good. Things are not looking too good. Every week I see him, he's with one less person. He's either not with Paul Ellering, he's not with AOP. I didn't see him with Scarlett tonight, I don't think, his wife. I mean, my God. So he needs to worry about that. Although I like his new hairdo and the beard looks good. That's about it. That's about it out of Karrion Kross. So it's really what your opinion is, to be honest. Yep. Wrestling is objective for sure. Is for sure. Guys, I appreciate you hitting that thumbs up when you make your way in here. Hit that thumbs up on our way to a double-digit likes. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already on the road to 700 subs. And again, guys, I'm here Mondays and Fridays, immediately following Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown. And you could also follow me on Instagram and TikTok, where I'm most active, as well as YouTube and X. Use Twitter, Facebook. I'm there as well. So we're going to move on to the New Day with a new theme, new graphics. I love the graphics. The song is cool, but I wish they had more of a darker song, if that makes sense. There's such tumultuous, bad heels in the best way possible, bad guys turning on, their longtime buddy. What has it been 2 months now? Big E. That I don't know. I just feel like they should have more of like a harsh theme song, but it is what it is. I wouldn't have exactly gave them that, but they had a tag team match against Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee of the LWO. I'm going to wrap this up as quick as possible. This match was interrupted by Cleveland's very own Logan Paul. Logan Paul basically gave the New Day an opportunity to cheat. There's several times throughout this match. It even ended up costing LWO because Logan Paul get involved while Kofi was talking to the ref or something like that. And Logan Paul pulls Rey Mysterio out of the ring when the ref was distracted, ends up costing LWO the match. Next week, we have an elimination qualifier match between Logan Paul, Rey Mysterio. This is also a rematch from Crown Jewel 2023. Rey Mysterio was dethroned. He lost his U.S. title to Logan Paul November of 2023. So these guys have quite a bit of history the last year and a half or so. So we'll see. I would love to see Rey advance, but, I'm assuming Logan Paul is going to win next week. So we'll see what happens there. New Day theme is fire. Yeah, I think Keith, I think the song is good. I don't like it for them. I don't like it for Kofi and Xavier right now. I think they deserve something even more like badass, just darker. I don't know. It's almost too cool, if that makes sense. Like you said, it's fire. I don't want to have the reaction like, oh man, this is a bop. This is a good one. No, I want something where I'm like, oh, I just hate these guys. You know what I mean? They're coming off as such bad heels. I don't want anything to be cool about them, but they still are. Song is nice. They got great ring gear still, so they're kind of hard to dislike. It is what it is. So we're going to move on now to now this segment actually happened just before the match got started. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. Io and Rhea have a face-off backstage. This is a match that I was hoping to see at WrestleMania, whether it was Io winning the Rumble or winning the Chamber. Looks like neither of those things are happening now because it looks like Io doesn't get her ticket punched to Elimination Chamber. We'll get to that in a little bit. But Io says, maybe I'll see you at WrestleMania to Rhea. Then she's blindsided by Liv Morgan, her opponent for later in the night for this qualifier match. Then Rhea runs to the aid of Io, but then Raquel attacks Rhea, leaving both of them on the ground, looking pretty helpless, unfortunately. So we'll get to that match in a little bit when it comes up. This is when we found out that Reigns is out for the foreseeable future. He will not be in the Elimination Chamber, whether it's that match or on any match on that card in Toronto in general. Thanks to mainly the damage inflicted by Seth post-match, curb stomps, you name it. This is when we then get to the qualifier match with Io Sky versus Liv Morgan. Early on in this match, Io hit her head on the top turnbuckle. Compliments of Liv Morgan. So Liv was beating her up before the match, during the match, after the match even. And yeah, but Io is one of the toughest women I've ever seen in pro wrestling. So if anybody can handle it, it's Io. Then again, it's still a head injury. They made a very interesting remark during this match that Liv Morgan has already been in 5 Elimination Chamber matches. I think one of those was the very first one for the women in 2018. I want to say that was a tag team one, right? And Io has no chamber experience. She's got a lot of War Games experience, 6 or 7 of them, all of them, but no Elimination Chamber. So that's kind of interesting. Later in this match, we saw a beautiful springboard dropkick by Io Sky. Got a lot of "this is awesome" chants, deservedly so. Liv has gotten greater over the past several years. Io's just always been amazing as far as I've ever watched her in NXT and WWE. Then we see Raquel trying to get involved again. I'm like, oh God, is Liv really going to win this? I thought Io was definitely going to win. Then Rhea comes out, takes out Raquel. Rhea then punches Liv Morgan. Referee sees it, disqualifies Io because of Rhea's interference. Liv wins, punches her ticket to the Elimination Chamber. Post-match, Io was not happy with Rhea, storms out of the ring. If not Mania, between Rhea and Liv, I don't know. Now, regardless of who Rhea's opponent is at Mania, whether it's Charlotte, which I doubt it is. Charlotte's probably going to pick Tiffany. Whoever wins Chamber will probably pick Rhea. I think Rhea retains regardless. I do think, I have this funny feeling that out of respect for Rhea costing Io this match, I do think we get Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky at Backlash the following month. I believe that usually runs in early May, right? This will be the second time in 2 or 3 years that Io gets a title match at Backlash, right? She had a title match in May of 2023 at Backlash, Puerto Rico. Remember, the crowd went absolutely crazy for the heel Io Sky going up against the babyface Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. We'll see what happens. I don't think Io would dethrone Rhea at Backlash. I believe it's in Mexico this year, but I think that's where we see the match. I would love this to be at Mania, but I think we get this at Backlash if she is indeed out of the Chamber match as it looks. So we find out next week, Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria for a qualifier match. Again, Liv was the first one to punch her ticket. And we have the men's match in the main event. Obviously, Cena, by default, he had a great press conference after the show at the Royal Rumble. If you haven't caught it, check it out on YouTube or whatever. He said, I'm not taking any questions. I'm fielding any questions. I'm going to speak for like 3 minutes, which he did. He got everything out, and he says he basically earned it in the last 23 years that he will be in the Chamber. So Cena punched his spot without having to have a match, which I get. And we found out one other person tonight as well. So they're going to do something stupid and have a last-minute spot watch. Yeah, they could do that as well now. We've seen that many a time where there's a last-ditch opportunity to get into a tournament or to a chamber or something like that to qualify. So, yeah, Io could get in like that. Absolutely. That we could still get Io, Rhea. And, you know, to me, that would be justified for Io because she got screwed out of it. I'm not a big fan of when these people outright lose and then get a second chance opportunity to get into the same tournament like the Chamber. That I think is kind of lame. But if they're going to do that, then as long as Io wins, it's all good because she got screwed out of her match tonight. It wasn't her fault at all that Rhea Ripley, you know, tried to defend her really and then got involved. So what else do we have here? So that was the post-match stuff. Now we're backstage. We see American Made, Chad Gable and his crew approaching the War Raiders. Basically, Creed Brothers want some tag team gold. Chad says he's going away for a bit to the Dark Arts, right? Dark Arts Academy or whatever. That's mainly what the name of Aleister Black's wrestling school academy. And so this is, long story short, all going to lead to Aleister Black eventually coming to TV, which I'm very excited for. And he says, I'm going away for a little bit. Chad Gable says that, but he expects fully to return and see all of them holding gold. Ivy Nile, the Creeds, etc. So we'll see what happens there. Again, this was during the confrontation with the War Raiders, the tag team champions backstage. And then we would get to a Seth Rollins promo. But before that, we would have Adam Pearce backstage announcing that AJ Styles is an official member of Monday Night Raw. Braun Breaker approaches Pearce right after this happens, tells Pearce to keep AJ Styles away from me. And oh, by the way, what's next for me? It seems like I haven't been really on your mind lately, Pearce. What's going on with me in the Intercontinental Championship? So do we eventually get something with Braun Breaker and AJ Styles? Could they drag it out 2+ months from now at Mania? I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I don't know. I want to know in the comments, guys, who would you like to see Braun Breaker go up against at WrestleMania defending his IC title? Drop it in the comments. Would you like it to be a singles match? Would you like a triple threat type of deal? Let me know. Man, I'm just really happy Alexa is back. She is so awesome. Yeah, I was glad to see Alexa too, man. I'm glad that she got the warm reception that she did. I was reading that they only solidified that just days prior to the Rumble, even though she was teasing it for like a month online initially. Shotzi Blackheart, I think they said, was initially supposed to be in her spot. Who knows if that was actually legit or not, but glad to see her back, man. Glad to see her back. So Monday Night Raw as well, right? So we have a Rollins promo, which would lead to Sami Zayn coming out, and then the main event, Sami Zayn versus CM Punk. Again, the show wrapped up just before 10:30. I love that. I love that for a lot of reasons. So we're going to talk about Rollins' promo, right? He congratulates Jey Uso, loves to see good things happen to good people. He says, also glad CM Punk and Roman Reigns did not win the Royal Rumble. Says there are many different paths that lead to WrestleMania, so he's going to try to make it happen through the Elimination Chamber, supposedly. In a few weeks, he has a qualifier match versus Finn Balor, who he has long history with. Then calls out Sami Zayn prior to his qualifier match with CM Punk. He really talked up Sami Zayn pretty well. When Sami got in the ring, he tells Sami, look, tonight is your night, Sami. You deserve to be at the Chamber, unlike CM Punk. And put his WrestleMania dream in the dirt for good, starting tonight. That didn't exactly happen. We'll get to that in a little bit. Now, as soon as CM Punk's music hit, Seth was leaving the ring. Punk and Seth nearly got into a scuffle near the entranceway, had to be broken up by a couple of officials. And so that was pretty much that. So now it's about 10:10. This match probably lasted 15 minutes, 16 minutes. Sami Zayn versus CM Punk in the main event of Monday Night Raw. Again, Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Great match. It was really good. Sami with a close near fall towards later in this match. Unfortunately, as good as this match was, it wasn't enough for Sami Zayn, which I kind of expected. I did not expect, it was more so not thinking Sami, whether or not he could win this or not. It was more so, how is CM Punk going to lose this after not getting it done in the Rumble 2 nights ago? So CM Punk wins with a GTS, hard-fought victory, seals the deal. Again, he's the number 2 person in this Elimination Chamber. The first one to fight for a qualifying spot, right? Because Cena was announced to be in it Saturday. Punk had to fight his way in tonight. So far, we got Cena and Punk. Those 2 4-letter words already sealed the deal. Post-match, right before they went off air, Kevin Owens comes out. He attacks Sami Zayn, his buddy, old friend. We knew he was eventually going to get the Zayn after Cody because of, Sami Zayn rekindling his friendship with Roman Reigns at Survivor Series War Games, helping out the bloodline, right? We knew this was going to happen even a month and a half, 2 months ago when Cole had that interview with KO in that car outside the arena. He says, and Sami Zayn, KO says, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to him eventually. I got Cody Rhodes to deal with now. I will get to him eventually. This ended with a package pile driver, unfortunately, for his longtime best friend, Sami Zayn. Can we even call him that? Longtime best friend, even though he's turned on him 3, 4, 5 times already. I don't know, man. I don't know. So we'll see what happens with these two. Inevitably so, we're going to get Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. I love that, and I'm excited for that. So that's, like, to me, the first official match outside of probably Jey Uso and Gunther. And we all know it's going to be Charlotte Tiffany as well. So those are 3 we can look forward to. Maybe we get Cena, Cody. There's 4 matches right there. We'll see what happens with the IC title, the U.S. title for the men and the women. I'm really curious what they're going to do with the U.S. title. Are they really going to have Nakamura walk in the Mania with that title? I don't think so. I think whoever becomes U.S. champion next and dethrones Shinsuke happens before Mania, and then whoever defends the U.S. title at Mania will retain it, simply stated. So we'll see what happens. Can Sheamus get a for the 1500th time get another opportunity at that IC title? Could Sheamus finally win that IC title at Mania? I would love that. We'll see. Maybe a triple threat: Sheamus, AJ, and Braun. I don't know, something like that would be fun. Love KO using the driver. Yeah, I know, Keith. It looks absolutely nasty, especially to go off air with it tonight, right? With that type of maneuver. So that was Monday Night Raw, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed this 40-minute review or however long I was on here. If you haven't already, guys, do me a solid. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit the like button. Everyone counts. Hitting that thumbs up button. Also, subscribe. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button here on the YouTube channel. I'll be back Friday night immediately following SmackDown. Full review of the show, much like tonight. Again, you can follow me as well on Instagram and TikTok. I'm heavily on there as well. Also on X and Facebook for all the latest content from me. So, going to hang around for a few more minutes, probably 2 or 3 more minutes, and then call it a night. If anything, if you're on TikTok, I may hop over there for a little bit tonight as well before I call it quits. So again, just do me a favor, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Appreciate it. I'll also take any questions or comments in the chat right now. Better than Turnbuckle Topics on a Monday. Thank you, brother. How we doing there? How we doing there, Santos? Hope all is well with you, brother. All right, good. Glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it. Yes, I will definitely be back Friday night, guys, immediately following SmackDown. And again, I may hop on TikTok tonight for a little bit, so you can follow me over there as well if you're not already. Chop it up, talk a little Monday Night Raw and all that good stuff. Rumble, Fallout. Good. Glad you're feeling great, bro. Good. Nothing better than getting off work, right? Going into day's work, man. Glad everybody had a good Monday, seemingly, here in the chat. And thanks for joining me, as always, guys. I appreciate the true soldiers I got here that came over from TikTok Live that I've been doing for months. Started going on YouTube Live last month or so for Mondays and Fridays. So always good to have you guys with me in the comments as well. Yes, sir. But yeah, I'm curious who else we're going to get in that chamber, man, for the men and the women. You know, obviously we got Cena and Punk for the men, Liv for the women. Like Nas said, maybe we get a second chance opportunity towards the end of the chamber for a final spot. Maybe EO slides in that way. Otherwise, I could see EO Rhea at Backlash in the following month. That would be fun as well. Do we really have to year for... I like Jay, but it's getting tiring. I hear you. Yeah, we'll see, Nas. I hear you, man. I hear you. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You think Drew is in the chamber as well, Rachel? Okay. Who do you guys see in the women's chamber going forward? You see, I think next week they said, what, Lyra Valkyria has a match? Is that what they mentioned? I think, I'm trying to think. Yeah, Lyra versus Bayley next week on Raw. Who do you think gets in? Think Bayley wins her match on Raw now, or you think Lyra gets that? I would assume Bayley gets in. Maybe not. I'm just assuming that because Lyra's already holding Intercontinental Championship gold. But we'll see. Super curious, though. Bianca Belair. Okay. All right. Very interesting. Think Bayley beats Lyra? Yeah. I would like to see... if Lyra did not have a title right now, I'd probably give the slight edge to Lyra. That would be a nice win for her. But, yeah, I think Bayley gets the win. Bayley gets that chamber win. Jacob Fatu in the chamber. Wow, that would be interesting, Santos. I would love to see that. That would be utter dominance. And you would almost feel like he would have to win it at that point. So I wonder if they're going to give him a qualifying match. Because if he's going to have a qualifying match, he's got to win that and get in. I'm just wondering if they're ready to do that. And we all know it's not because he wouldn't be ready. It's because are they ready to propel him to stardom? Because... boy, when they let him loose, Jacob Fatu is going to be he's already a problem, but he is really going to be something, man. He is really going to be something. That'll be very bad for everybody else. Yeah, Jacob Fatu has been doing great, man. Just think, he's only been with them 7, going on 8 months now. And the impact he has made. And he's only been on I think, who said it? A few, Big E, I think, over the weekend at the Rumble. Now that they gave Jacob Fatu a mic the last month or so in Solo's place, Jacob was making his presence felt just... by his sheer physicality. And now that they're letting him open up on the mic, backstage, in the center of that ring, Jacob Fatu is going to be a problem, man, in the best way possible. So, I like it, man. I like it. He is a megastar. Yep, he absolutely is, Santos. I agree. Guys, I'm going to wrap up this live in a few minutes. Be sure to hit that thumbs up And again, subscribe. I will be back Friday night immediately following Friday night SmackDown. I thank each and every one of you for joining me. Whether you are here 5 minutes, the whole 45 minutes, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope that WWE brings back Bash at the Beach. Bash at the Beach was fun, man. Bash at the Beach was a good one. I'm glad that they what did they bring back on NXT a few years ago? Great American Bash. Bash at the Beach was cool though. Can you see Solo back before Mania? Oh, I absolutely could, Rachel. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I could also see him coming back the Raw after Mania, actually, for Solo Sikoa. If they're not going to have anything of note for him at Mania, why not just bring him back right after Mania? It's always kind of like the reset to a point, right? So, and pick back up there, whether it's with Jacob, whether it's with Roman, whether it's with whomever. We'll see. But I could see him being back soon. But again, I could also see him coming back at the end of April at the very same time. WWE needs... Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens with the rest of these chamber qualifiers in these remaining weeks, man. Because we have exactly a month. I think March 1st is Elimination Chamber. You guys see the poster today with John Cena on it, so you feel like he's got to win it, right? I don't know. I feel like he's got to win it. He still hasn't acknowledged Roman. Solo Sikoa? Yeah, that he hasn't. So we'll see, man. Again, guys, hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Going to wrap up the live in a little bit here. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Thanks for joining. What will happen with Solo, especially now with Roman out? Yeah, I mean, does Roman remain out? Does Solo remain out even longer than Roman? I could see Solo coming back on the road to Mania, but I could just as easily see Solo factored back in right after Mania. And picking back up with something fresh in the sense of, okay, by then he's been gone about 3 months. Now what? I'm kind of I would rather Solo actually stay out until damn near May 1st. I know it's a long time, but we'll see. And Roman will be on Mania in a match in some regard, whether it's him and Seth or him and Seth and Punk in a triple threat. So we'll see. WWE should end Clash at the Castle and bring back Bash at the Beach. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, look, I as much as I like Bash at the Beach, I love Clash at the Castle. Now, Clash at the Castle is something like when they had that in 2022 in Cardiff, Wales, I would have kept that in September, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I get it. Bash at the Beach, June makes sense. June, July. July, obviously, they got Money in the Bank the last couple of years. But I would definitely, I would keep Clash at the Castle. I do love that one. I know this past June when they did it in Scotland, they moved it to June from September a couple years ago. But yeah, man, I mean, hey, look. I'd be open. I love the nostalgic pay-per-views being brought back, and that's why I love NXT to a point, too. It may not be on that grand of a scale, but I love, even when they do it in Orlando, I love when they bring back the Halloween Havocs, the Great American Bashes, and all that good stuff. Solo won't be back until Mania to get involved in the Triple Threat. Yeah, I could see him getting involved in the Triple Threat as well. Like I said, I could see him on the road to Mania, later in it. I could see him maybe pop up at Mania, depending upon what matches are on the card. And I could just as easily see him showing up on the Raw after Mania as well. So I definitely see him coming back either very late March at earliest or end of April, at latest. So I've read at WrestleMania going to be Drew versus Priest. Okay. Drew versus Priest will be cool. I mean, look, they have a lot of history, right? They have a lot of history. It seems like these days Priest has had his number, right, Rachel? Whether it was at WrestleMania or at the Rumble, I believe, even, or the other night. So I could see that. I was very intrigued last Friday, as I think I mentioned to some of you guys, with the face-off between Jacob Fatu and Damian Priest. I like Damian Priest being on SmackDown on his own. No Judgment Day, no Rhea. As much as him and Rhea were awesome together, the Terror Twins. It's a breath of fresh air for him. New scenery, new matchups. And it kind of gives him a new demeanor and an outlook, too. So I like it. They need to get rid of Extreme Rules and bring back One Night Stand. Well, didn't they get rid of Extreme Rules a couple of years ago? I thought they got rid of, or maybe I'm tripping. I thought they got rid of TLC and Extreme Rules. But did they keep, oh no, they kept Extreme Rules, right? They got rid of TLC and Hell in a Cell. Yeah. Extreme Rules is cool. I don't mind them switching it up once in a while. I mean, realistically, outside of like the Core 4 or Core 5, I know a lot of people say it's Core like 5 now with Money in the Bank. And I like the fact that they brought back King of the Ring to a point, even though it's mainly in Saudi and stuff. I wouldn't mind if they rotated certain pay-per-views out every couple of years. Excuse me, outside of like the main ones, you know. Last year we didn't have September pay-per-views, just one NXT pay-per-view. No Mercy. You're right. You're right, Tyrell. We had NXT No Mercy. We had that the beginning of September in 24. We had it at the end of September in 23. And then at the end of this past year, at the end of October, right before Halloween, they had Halloween Havoc and on the road actually in PA. So that was cool. Fall Brawl, nice. I know Fall Brawl back in the day. We used to have war games there a lot in WCW, right? Armageddon, Unforgiven, both as good as well. Yeah, both good as well. Very nice. All right, guys, look, I'm going to wrap it up here. Again, if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up. I will be back here Friday night immediately following SmackDown. I think I'm going to head over to my TikTok account for a little bit and go live there in a little bit, guys, at Turnbuckle Topics as well. So, again, subscribe here. Again, follow me over on TikTok in about 5 minutes or so, and you can follow me there as well. I appreciate all the love and support and reaching out here on the comments. It's ready for MJF and Mania. I don't know. I think he's locked in a little bit longer than that. His contract isn't up in March or April, is it, Grimy? But we'll see. He'll be there eventually. So I don't think there's a rush. But I think whenever his contract's up next, he'll obviously and most definitely be heading over to WWE, no doubt about it. So, all right, Rachel. All right, guys, thanks for joining me tonight. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the likes, the comments, the thumbs up, and mainly the subscriptions as well. Thank you for subscribing, guys. And guess what? I'll head over on TikTok in a little bit and catch you guys there. If not, I'll see you immediately following Friday Night SmackDown back here on YouTube. Have a great rest of your night.